Here are top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. An APNU government will enforce strict policies to combat unfair competition between local and foreign businesses. Norton, no one is untouchable. Deputy Police Commissioner vows to crush corruption from within its ranks. New Secure Eye app could be a lifesaver. Police force to use tool to fight chaos on Guyana's roads. And political parties grilled on LGBTQ plus rights at 2025 elections town hall. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday, 29th July 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you should know this evening. Although recognizing close ties between Guyana and China, Aubrey Norton, the Partnership for National Unity's presidential candidate, is adamant that a clear boundary must be established between local and Chinese businesses. Antonio Day opens this evening's broadcast.
Many local businesses have voiced concerns about the fierce competition from foreign businesses, particularly those from China. Aubrey Norton, the presidential candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, is adamant that a clear boundary should be established to prevent local companies from losing their profitability and going obsolete. He clarified that strict measures must be put in place to ensure foreign countries abide to Guyana's consumer affairs and tax laws under an APNU coalition government.
I believe we can engage Chinese authorities to make it very, very clear that they have to operate within the confines of the law. They have to pay their taxes, etc.
According to the seasoned politician, once elected to office after September polls, there will be fair competition between domestic and foreign businesses.
We also believe that we need to, in some regard, protect small businesses. We do not believe we should encourage a domination of Chinese businesses, especially in the commercial sector where Guyanese thrived for years.
The politician attributed the unfair competition between Guyanese and foreign enterprises to the poorly implemented policies that currently exist under the current People's Progressive Party Civic.
It is the poor policies of the PPP government that caused a lot of Guyanese to run out of business and to rent their places to Chinese. We will strike a balance where we don't have to get rid of the Chinese, but the Guyanese here have first preference and a right to be involved in business.
Mr. Norton is adamant that the procurement system is so relaxed that foreigners are given preference to job opportunities when Guyanese should be given first preference. He said this too will drastically be changed under an APNU-led government.
I believe restoring Guyana to the rule of law and ensuring that commercial and other laws are structured in a way to create a level playing field and ensure that Guyanese can act and benefit will do the job.
After gaining independence from British rule in 1966, Guyana and China established diplomatic ties on June 27, 1972, and has since collaborated in areas of foreign policy, agriculture, and infrastructure. I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. With public confidence in the Guyana police force hanging by a thread, one of its highest-ranking officers came out swinging, declaring that corruption will be stamped out at every level, no matter who gets caught in the crossfire. Details in this report. With public confidence in the Guyana police force, the GPF hanging by a thread, one of the highest-ranking officers came out swinging, declaring that corruption will be stamped out at every level, no matter who gets caught in the crossfire. Deputy Commissioner of Police Administration Ravindranath Budram, in a fiery appearance on this week's Safeguarding Our Nation program, did not hold back. He addressed growing outrage over police misconduct and made it clear the days of rogue cops escaping justice are over. Budram's hardline stance comes as the Guyana police force reels from a fresh wave of embarrassment. In just a matter of days, 2 officers were dragged into criminal investigations, one busted with narcotics on the east bank of Demerara, the other caught on the east coast, allegedly packing an illegal gun.
I understand the public's view of corruption in the force. While there are some rogue elements within the force, majority of our officers are good officers, and they are here to serve the public.
Still, for members of the public, trust remains fragile. Social media is often flooded with complaints about alleged police shakedowns, abuse of power, and selective enforcement. Yet, Budram insists the force is serious about cleaning house.
If there is an allegation of misconduct, our Office of Professional Responsibility would investigate. And after advice is sought, action will be taken.
To address internal weaknesses, Budram said the force has ramped up its investment in training programs that emphasize ethical policing. Recruits and seasoned officers alike undergo continuous sessions on professionalism, accountability, and citizens' rights. Meanwhile, in a bold push to modernize policing and save lives on our roadways, the Guyana Police Force has launched a brand new mobile app that could change the way crimes and accidents are reported. Secure Eye is being hailed as a possible game changer in public safety. What if you could help stop a robbery, report a crash, or even save a life, all from your mobile phone? The Guyana Police Force is putting that power in your hands with the launch of a high-tech mobile app designed to respond faster than ever before. It's called Secure Eye, and officials say it could be a game changer for law enforcement and public safety. Unveiled at the 2025 National Road Safety Stakeholder Forum on Tuesday, the app connects directly to the Police Command Center and the regional stations, allowing anyone with a smartphone to report criminal activities or road accidents within seconds. Ministry of Home Affairs analyst Priya C. Paul, who led the initiative, explained that the revolutionary application will not only be an additional avenue of reporting accidents and crime, but it will give citizens the power to help the force act more efficiently, effectively, and swiftly to these types of emergencies.
How most of the times when you go on the road, you see an accident, everybody's just ready to pull out their phones. But what do you do with that video? What do you do with that clip? You post it on social media. You post it on your status. Everybody's so bizarre by that accident, by that scene, you know. But then what if you can be more, be more than just another social media post?
Secure Eyes not just let you report an accident, it sends your exact GPS location directly to the police, eliminating speculation while being time efficient. In a country where many people do not always know who to call or what to do during an emergency, this could be the difference between life and death.
Every year, too many lives are lost on the road. Many of these lives can be saved not by luck, but by a faster reporting and faster response system. This is the goals of Secure Eye.
Still, the police force is optimistic. With Guyana's population on the rise, roadways getting busier, and the security challenges evolving, Secure Eye could be the upgrade local policing desperately needs. More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back with the HGP Nightly News. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, has bemoaned alleged corruption in the housing sector. Hughes also had a clear message for small contractors during his party's campaign meeting with residents of West Rheinveld. Here is more.
Understand that they thief 90% of the money, are hustling to give you 5%. And some of you got to give them a kickback with the other 5.
That was leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, pointing an accusing finger at the People's Progressive Party civic government of involving itself in corrupt practices. In a disciplined speech to Rheinveld supporters over the weekend, The AFC leader point out to small contractors that they have not been seeing the real benefits Guyana has to offer.
Halfway in 2024, they said they're giving you a little contract for $2.5 million, and you feel that you owe them something. They've been hustling you since 2020 and thieving your corn. And now they're coming to you in 2024 and 2025 and telling you that you owe them loyalty because they give you a contract.
Hughes also lamented on the slothfulness in the youths acquiring house lot and the fact that one has to wait until they're 21 before they can apply for a plot of land in the current dispensation.
I challenge every political party to commit to giving every citizen of this country a house lot when they turn 18.
He pointed out that Guyana has been a land flowing with milk and honey for the past 5 years. The incumbent has shown no regard for the poor or working class. Only friends, family, and favorites have been the major beneficiaries as the country continues to increase its revenue daily as a result of oil and gas.
Guyana is making $65 million an hour. Think about that. $65 million an hour we are making. We are making $1.5 billion.
Hughes, who was expected to return the AFC to coalition politics, as was the case in 2015 and 2020, through the Commingsburg Accord, is taking the lonely road as the party eyes victory at the upcoming polls. The AFC leader has also placed his odds on a good showing this election cycle to determine their political stock. Marvin Cato, reporting for HGP TV Nightly News.
With just months to go before Guyanese head to the polls, members of the LGBTQ plus community are making it clear their votes come with questions. At a town hall in Georgetown, 5 of the 6 political parties contesting this year's elections faced the heat and were pressed to reveal where they stand on issues like discrimination, decriminalization, and equal rights. 5 of 6 political parties contesting the upcoming general and regional elections participated in the LGBTQIA plus elections town hall 2025 on Tuesday morning, addressing issues that continue to affect the local LGBTQ community. The event, hosted by SASOT Guyana in partnership with the Guyana Press Association, the GPA, was held at the Hermanston Lodge in Georgetown. It followed the launch of the Guyana LGBTQIA plus Manifesto 2025 and aimed to secure public comments from political leaders on 10 priority issues identified by the community. These issues include legal protection against discrimination, equal access to health care, decriminalization of same-sex relations, and the inclusion of LGBTQ persons in their national development plans. But the panel faced a plethora of questions. Some made promises, while others opted to provide their own opinion on the matters raised. That is, it is now time for Guyana to become inclusive legislatively.
I believe that there should be more advocacy because I believe in laws that reflect our human existence, and that is how you have the most positive impact.
You should enjoy the rights like any other Guyanese. And so as it relates to the workplace, regardless of sexual orientation, disability, or any other thing that puts you in a minority group, you should be able to access jobs and live.
All forms of discrimination is wrong. When that discrimination affects a person's fundamental human right, then it must become criminal.
No one should be, again, held accountable because of how they choose to live their life. It is important for laws to be in place for every Guyanese to be treated equally.
Come up with a comprehensive anti-discrimination bill, right? Which will target a national anti-discrimination, protects people from discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression.
Despite progress in public dialogue since the first town hall in 2020, advocates say many challenges remain, particularly around law reform, police abuse, and stigma in education and healthcare settings. The 90-minute forum gave party representatives the opportunity to outline their positions while also facing direct questions from members of the media and LGBTQ rights advocates. We have more news for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You with the HGP Nightly News. As we continue, residents of Annandale on the east coast of Demerara are concerned about the prolonged underdevelopment of their community's recreational ground. They noted that despite promises made by Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson Jr. to rehabilitate the facility, to date, the ground is covered by bushes. Antonio Day has that story.
On Monday, residents of Annandale on the east coast of Demerara expressed deep concern with the current deplorable state of the community's cricket ground. They told Nightly News that due to the lack of recreational and other facilities, like young people in the area have resorted to indulging themselves in using illegal substances.
And a lot of youths, and they don't have no recreation, so the cricket ground finished.
The residents who preferred anonymity said that Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports Charles Ramson Jr. had visited the community and promised to rehabilitate the facility.
I come here and Regis ground here.
They bemoaned that for the past few months, bushes have taken over the community grounds. This newscast had made several attempts to reach Minister Ramson Jr. for a comment regarding the community ground. However, calls have not been answered nor returned. One source familiar with the project noted that it is tuned at $140 million, and the contractors which were hired are purportedly acquaintances of the government. Another source informed this newscast that the ground was scheduled for rehabilitation 6 months ago, but to date no works are ongoing. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Regional News, and happy pre-emancipation to all. Starting off with news in Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force successfully handed down 2 drones over Teteron Barracks, where problematic prison inmates from the maximum security prison were relocated at the start of the state of emergency, according to Attorney General John Jeremy. And I quote, "I have been clear to say that the locations that the problematic inmates were removed to were also infiltrated by 2 drones. That is what I have been permitted to say." End of quote. Jeremy told Parliament as legislators debated and passed a motion to extend the state of emergency by 3 months on Monday night. The state of emergency came into force on July 18 after the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said it had received intelligence reports whereby organized criminal gangs with persons inside of the prisons and persons operating on the outside of the prisons have formed themselves into what would want to term as an organized crime syndicate. Police Commissioner ALETHEA Guevara said that members of that syndicate were actively planning to quote-unquote carry out assassinations, robberies, and kidnappings. He informed Parliament that those targeted for assassination were given warnings by law enforcement and that the state of emergency was vital to empower law enforcement to dismantle the criminal enterprise. Over to news in Jamaica. Jamaicans are encouraged to actively contribute to the shift towards eco-friendly alternatives as the country enters the 4th phase of the single-use plastic ban. Gillian Guthrie, Chief Technical Director in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, emphasized the importance of consumer choices in reducing plastic waste, especially for items that have sustainable substitutes. The ban initiated in 2018 aims to phase out non-biodegradable plastics due to health and environmental concerns linked to microplastics. The ban items include single-use plastic bags, polyethylene or polypropylene straws, styrofoam, food containers, and personal care products with microbeads. Anthony Mackenzie, the country's Director for Environmental Management and Conservation at NEPA, expressed support for the plastic ban and urged consumers to use biodegradable paperboard alternatives. He noted the challenge of consumers reporting that some plastic containers from food establishments are not single-use. And finally, with some international news. Torrential rain has killed at least 30 people in the northern outskirts of Beijing as China faces another deadly rainy season with extreme downpours, floods, and landslides. Intense rainstorms in northern China has led to the deaths of 30 people, with 28 fatalities reported in Mingyong and 2 in Yangqing. Significant damage has occurred, including impacted roads and power outages in other 100 rural villages. More than 80,000 people have been relocated, with 17,000 from Mingyong. On Monday, Beijing issued a highest-level flood alert, warning residents of severe risk from flash floods, mudslides, and landslides. Authorities have ordered schools, construction sites, and scenic spots across the city to be closed, and all rural homestays and campsites to suspend operations. The deadly rains and floods came just 2 days after the Chinese capital was pounded by record rains that killed 33 people. In 2023, Beijing was struck by its heaviest rainfall in 140 years, which unleashed severe flash floods in its mountainous western outskirts. Thank you for watching. I'm Antonio Day. Goodbye for now.
An APNU government will enforce strict policies to combat unfair competition between local and foreign businesses. Norton, no one is untouchable. Deputy Police Commissioner vows to crush corruption from within its ranks. New Secure Eye app could be a lifesaver. Police force to use tool to fight chaos on Guyana's roadways. And political parties grilled on LGBTQ plus rights at 2025 elections town hall. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.